Bom dia a todos, bonjour, hello. Hoje é o último curso de nosso cruzeiro, de nossa viagem no tempo, no espaço, a descoberta de classes características, esse mundo de classes características que espero você gostou, que ainda tem muitos desenvolvimentos desenvolvidos deste mundo. Muita gente, mesmo no Brasil, trabalhando sobre essas características de variedades singulares, também no Local Euler Obstruction, que vimos. E espero que alguns de vocês vão trabalhar também, talvez, neste mundo de classes características e de variedades singulares. Vamos para o último curso. E, opa, aqui está. Último curso com English. Então, will be with Marianne Schwartz, that you already know, Robert McPherson, that you know now, and Ragni Piene, which is in Norwegian, and a mathematician in Norwegian. You already know that there is an Alexander isomorphism between cohomology of M modulo M minus X when X is an analytic subvariety singular in a smooth one, a manifold M, okay? And you have Alexander duality between this relative cohomology group to homology group with complementary dimension relatively to the dimension of the ambient manifold M. And we will see that the Macpherson classes which are here in homology of X are image of the Schwartz classes that we have defined in cohomology, in relative cohomology of M. Some people say cohomology of M with support in X for this group. In fact, the support of cycles here and classes are in X. So this is cohomology of M, if you prefer, with, and we put XA with support in X. Okay, so we start. We start with Marie-Hélène Schwartz construction of classes with an airframe, which is constructed, as we have seen, by radial extension, stratum by stratum, and in order to have this index well defined, and this is the index of an airframe on both on the index relatively to the stratum, which contain the simplex sigma I. Sigma I is as, and di is a cell which is dual of sigma I. And you take cells whose intersection with X is not empty. Okay? So in that case, you know that the cell is dual of the simplex sigma I, which is in a stratum, V alpha. So you have the index on the stratum, and you have also the index in the ambient manifold, and you know that you have this cocycle. This is the co-chain whose image on di2p the same is 1 and 0 on others. You know this already very well, okay? Well, so in order to simplify notations and formula, I will call mu I this index here, okay? This index. And mu I is for sigma I, which is R minus 2 dimensional simplex in X, in a stratum of X, and the dual cell is di2p, okay, di2p. Well, and the barycenter of both, which is here sigma hat I, is barycenter of sigma I as well barycenter of di2p. In fact, there is only one point which is intersection of the dual cell and the simplex, okay? And this point, which is intersection of both, is the barycenter, both of the cell and the simplex. Well, first of all, I will use a lemma. The proof of the lemma is in the notes that you will have, maybe you have already. And this lemma says that the Chern-Mather class, the homology Chern-Mather class, you know, that is a class in homology. And with, we put always here the complex degree. So the degree 2r minus 1 is represented by this cycle, the sum of the Euler obstruction at the point AI. I will speak a little of AI. Mu I is this index here, and sigma I is the simplex, 2r minus 2-dimensional simplex sigma I. So you take this sum. AI is any point in this simplex. You know that Euler obstruction is constant along the strata. We have seen that. So you can take any point. It can be the AI can be the barycenter. You can think of AI being the barycenter of this simplex. Okay, so this is a lemma that we will use. And in fact, I wrote the lemma for X, for your singular subvariety, analytic subvariety, but I can replace X by any part of X. For example, the closure of a stratum V alpha. Okay, so here is the same, but with X replaced by closure of V alpha. I did not see that. My slide was not so good. Okay, here. Okay, so the homology Chern-Mather class of the closure of a stratum has contained this cycle. Well, so now take the definition of Macpherson classes. The Macpherson classes of the function 1, the constructible function 1 over all of x is equal to n alpha. You remember that n alpha is such that the sum of n alpha Euler obstruction of the V alpha, the closure of V alpha is equal to 1. Okay, n alpha, which was defined in the last course, and the Mather classes of V of the closure of V alpha. That is the reason for which I wrote this formula here for each closure of stratum. Okay. Well, so if I replace here the Chern-Mather class, here the Chern-Mather class by its values that we have seen in the lemma, so you have the sum of n alpha, and the Chern-Mather class of the closure of V alpha is this. Okay. Now you can permute the two summation sign. Everything is finite in this here. So you have the sum for all simplices in X with dimension 2r minus 2 of this sum times mu I sigma I. Mu I is the index, the index we have seen. Okay, so now you know that this sum, Macpherson wrote for any x, but it's true for V alpha, the closure of V alpha, the sum equal to 1. This is the definition of the n alpha, in fact, for all AI point in the closure of V alpha, but you know that AI is any point in the simplex sigma I. But this is 1. This is the definition of the integers n alpha. So this is 1, and you obtain a cycle in the class, Macpherson class, in terms of the airframe, the construction of the airframe, because here mu I is the index. Okay. So we have here a cycle in the Macpherson class, and you know a co-cycle of the Schwarz class, which is this. Okay, this was a definition of Schwarz class by this cycle. And you know that this isomorphism, Alexander isomorphism, sent this cohomology, this co-cycle to the cycle with complementary dimension. And it's exactly sending this di to p star to sigma I to R minus 2. This is the definition of Alexander isomorphism that we have seen. So it's clear that the image of Marie-Hélène Schwarz classes by this Alexander isomorphism is the Macpherson class. So as I said to you, Marie-Hélène Schwarz has defined the classes more or less 10 years before Macpherson. But what is important is that now we have a corollary giving an explicit expression for the Macpherson class. The Macpherson class was defined in an axiomatic way by Deligne and Grothendieck in their conjecture. Of course, the definition of Macpherson is explicit in algebraic situation, algebraic framework. So it's interesting. If you are interested, of course, it's good to look at, to go to the paper by Macpherson, which gives a definition in the algebraic framework, okay? But here, with this isomorphism, we can give explicitly a cycle in the Macpherson class, a cycle in the Macpherson class, which is a homology class, okay? And a cycle which represents this Macpherson class. And this cycle here is exactly this one, the sum for all sigma in this singular variety of all simplices in X with dimension 2R minus 2, okay? The index, you know very well, here the barycenter is barycenter of the dual cell of sigma, okay, sigma. So this is a corollary of this theorem. We have explicitly a cycle in the Macpherson class which represent this Macpherson class C star of 1, the constructible function 1. But of course, if by linearity, you have also for any constructible function alpha. And the C star of alpha, the Macpherson class of degree 2R minus 2, which is CR minus 1 of the alpha constructible function alpha, by linearity is represented by this cycle here. Here is the value of alpha over X, over sigma, sorry, sigma over the simplex sigma. I took the constructible function subordinate to the triangulation. That means that the constructible function is constant on each open simplex of the triangulation, okay? So this is important corollary. Well, I will give a little, not completely, but a little of the polar viewpoint, which is a dual viewpoint, more or less. But it's a very nice viewpoint for characteristic classes. Characteristic classes can be defined by many ways, not only the obstruction viewpoint that we have seen with Marie-Hélène Schwarz. Macpherson, I did not do explicitly, but he made in an algebraic framework. There are people who gave a definition of polar varieties, which allow to define not the Schwarz-Macpherson class, but the Mather class, okay? So, but the Mather class is part of the Macpherson class. So if you know Mather class, you know with local Euler obstruction, you know this n alpha, this value of n alpha, so you can compute the Schwarz-Macpherson class. You know very well the polar, if you take a point out of conic here, which is okay, this ellipse, you take the tangent to the ellipse, to the conic passing by that point. So you have 2 points here, 2 points of tangency, and the line joining these 2 points of tangency is the polar line of P relatively to the conic Q. Reciprocally, if you take any 2 points, you take the tangent by these 2 points, and you have a point which is the polar point or the pole point relatively to the tangent. Mathematician called Hermann César Hannibal Schubert. I don't pronounce certainly not as it should be. It's not the Schubert you know by the music. It's nothing to do. And this guy, in fact, he was never prof in university. He was prof in secondary school, but he made many things in to define cycles, looking at Grassmannian manifolds. If you take the Schubert variety is defined in the following sense. You take a flag of linear subspaces in Cm in the complex. It can be also in the projective space. You have the two viewpoints. But in Cm, a flag of linear subspaces such that the dimension of each Li is Ki. Okay? Ki, any numbers, of course, with K0 less than K1 less than M. Okay? And the Schubert variety associated to this flag, L, is defined in the following way. You take the set of n planes in Cm, the Grassmannian that you know very well now, the set of complex n planes in Cm, such that the dimension of this intersection with the elements of the flag is bigger than I for I between 0 and n. Okay? This is the Schubert variety associated to the flag. Some examples. Take, I give you here, I will note the Schubert variety associated to the flag L. I will write with the sequence of numbers K0, K1, Kn, which appear as a dimension of the Li. So I denote like that. And you have examples that you can check. This is a very nice exercise. If you take n is 1 and m is 3, so you look at lines in C3, okay? Line in C3 for W. And S1, S0, S1, 3 will be lines meeting a given line. You can check as exercise, it's very good exercise. S03 will be a set of lines through a given point. S12, the lines in a given plane. And finally, S02, the line in a plane through a given point in the plane. You can check also G2, 5, that we have S1, in that case, n is 2, so you have S0, L1, L2. Okay, so 3 numbers, K0, K1, K2. And you have these 2 examples that you can check, which are good exercise to see what is a Schubert variety. In fact, Schubert varieties were also used. In fact, Ehresmann, who was the French guy who studied a lot the Grassmannian varieties and defined the cycles in the Grassmannian variety as cycle given by the polar varieties. But I think the first was Severi, an Italian guy, and Todd, John Arthur Todd, English mathematician, generalized Severi. He wrote explicitly the result of Severi, and also less known Georgian mathematician in Georgia, Revaz Valerianovich Gamkrelidze, who studied this. He is still alive, if I don't mistake. He has 94. He is 94, so it's a good guy. So the polar variety associated to n-dimensional complex singular, I will take projective, which is simpler, projective variety. So I am now not in Cn, but I am a subspace of projective space, PCN, okay? And I take the set of the regular points, X, such that the dimension of the tangent space intersection with LK, LK is one element of this Schubert flag, is bigger than K. So it's exactly the same definition, okay, with here the tangent space to the regular points. And you take the closure of this. If you take the closure of this, okay, you have the, what is called the K-polar variety. The K-polar variety appears in a lot of papers, especially by Ragni and also people like Letesi and so on. And the mother classes, then the mother classes are defined by equal to this sum here. Here you have the fundamental class of the polar variety, which is the closure of this set, okay? And here, this means that you intersect with a general plane, with whose codimension is S minus K, okay? So it's a combination of polar varieties. This is very important. The mother class is a combination of polar varieties. And that's a very nice result by Ragni Piene as well, okay? In fact, this was also already in GAM credits a result for manifold, if you have a manifold. So in that case, you have directly the polar variety here. And Wu Wensun, you remember this guy, Wu Wensun? Wu Wensun also gave this expression here for singular varieties. So Wu Wensun gave this in 65. Like Marianne Schwartz in 65. Okay, so you have seen that this was in French, this was in Chinese. Fortunately, I had a Chinese student who was able to read this paper by Wu Wensun. And this Chinese student, Yan Yitsu, is shown that the Wu classes defined in 1965 are the same as the mother classes that we have seen defined by Macpherson using the Nash transformation and the Nash transformation to Nash bundle. 1974 is the definition of Macpherson classes by Macpherson, and it was also the mother classes defined by Macpherson, as I just said now. So this is to summarize more or less the course for the singular situation, okay? All these classes in the regular situation are the chain classes of the manifold, okay? If you have a manifold, all these classes are the same. Well, this is a end of our cruise. Pelo português. Então, é o fim do nosso viagem, no tempo e também no espaço, como você viu. Eu queria mostrar para você também algumas aplicações na física com topological quantum numbers and relation with first chain numbers. E são muitos exemplos pelo Hall effect in English. And quantum mechanics use also a lot chain classes. Continuing a little. And you have the quantum Hall effect, quantum in quantum. So it's very interesting that appears in the topological insulators, topological supraconductors in physics. They use chain classes. So I will not give you much more information because I know that this exists, but I had once a lecture by people in physics about this, but I don't remember a lot. But it was very interesting to see how chain classes, chain numbers appears in physics, also in the singular case. Okay? Ok, so eu volto em português. Isso é o fim da nossa viagem. Eu vou mostrar como como foi viagens no Brasil 40 anos atrás, que tinha isso. Isso é você, muitos de vocês não eram nascidos neste momento, 40 anos atrás, com o trem do Pantanal, que era um fantástico trem, indo de São Paulo até Columba, através do Pantanal. E o trem do Pantanal, esta foto é de 23 de agosto de 81, 40 anos atrás, mais ou menos, pela data. E este trem era uma coisa fantástica. E este trem, indo em Columba, era possível ir até Iguaçu, mas também de ver estas quedas, fantásticas quedas que tinha, que desolado pelas fotos que tem 40 anos, então as cores desaparecem um pouco, tem cheio de verde, mas não se vê muito bem. Mas estas tinha ilhas, e entre ilhas, quedas entre ilhas, era possível de ir de uma ilha até outra ilha com passarela. E era fantástica. Eu disse era porque tudo isso agora é sobre as águas de Itaipu. Itaipu, porque isso desapareceu. São quedas de 7 quedas. E estas fotos são de 20 de agosto. E é uma pena que não se podia ver demais. Então, para jovens, você sabe que embaixo das águas de Itaipu tem estas fantásticas quedas que tinha até o momento. É verdade que as passarelas, as passarelas tinham no ano seguinte, 82, uma das passarelas caiu e 32 pessoas perderam a vida a este momento. Mas eu acho que o Brasil tem fantásticas coisas, é uma pena que isso desapareceu completamente. Eu quero agradecer a vocês pela atenção. Estou desolado, primeiramente, de dizer que as pirâmides são na Grécia, que são, vocês sabem, no Egito, claro. E também, talvez, certamente, eu fiz muitas erros, desculpa por isso, mas eu espero que você corrigiu cada vez. É um exercício para você corrigir meus erros dentro do curso. Isso é um bom exercício. E eu agradeço muito. Eu lembro que este curso é na memória de Roberto Bedregal, que trabalhou muito sobre outra coisa que não diz, que infelizmente precisaria de mais tempo, de dizer que tem outras classes que Schwartz-McPherson classes, que são classes definidas por Fulton Johnson. E o que é interessante é que a diferença entre Schwartz-McPherson e Fulton classes se chama Milnor classes, porque no caso de grau 0, a diferença entre os dois dá exatamente os números de Milnor, Milnor numbers. E, então, tem também muita gente trabalhando sobre isso e, precisamente, Roberto Bedregal fez, em colaboração com Michel e do São José do Rio Preto e com o PPCAD do México, muito bonito trabalho sobre muito bonito artigo sobre isso e de facto foi a resolução de uma conjectura que eu fiz e isso vale a pena também e tem pessoas continuando trabalhando sobre isso. Tenho também de desculpar que meus cursos têm tamanho muito flexível, que não é muito desolador por isso, mas você sabe que quando você gosta de uma coisa, às vezes não tem. E também fazer assim, pela gravação deste tipo, não se vê o tempo. Eu não tenho nada para ver o tempo, então, o meu cada dos meus cursos tem tempo variável. Muito obrigado a vocês pela atenção. Espero que você entendeu uma coisa e espero que se você tem perguntas, você pode fazer perguntas. Vamos fazer uma sessão de perguntas e também não hesita a me mandar um correio eletrônico se você quer mais informações e mais detalhes. Você vai ter as notas, hein, e então vai dar também mais informações. Uma vez demais, muito obrigado pela atenção e cuida de você. Fiquem bem. Muito obrigado.